What's up all you Meek 611 dudes and dudettes, Toyshiz here, and I'm back yet again for another fresh look. This time today we're going to be checking out the brand new Funko Toys. This is the Walmart exclusive, quote-unquote, let's say, carbonized version of these two Rick and Morty action figures. There is a standard set as well as these Walmart exclusive versions, and well, Funko announced these probably about a month or two ago. This will probably end the Rick and Morty action figure line. There's been Wave 1, Wave 2, and now I guess you would call this technically Wave 3. I guess Toy Fair will kind of provide more answers. At least I'll be talking with Funko so I can find out, because I have enjoyed these figures. But these Rick and Morty characters are starting to hit now, and I really like the packaging on these. It's something different. It's a carded figure. It's like these stepped out of the portal. These suits are pretty much Season 4 based suits, and it's kind of nice that there's only two. Technically there's four, but since I found these carbonized ones, I'm just gonna go with these. I don't need to get the standard suit versions, I guess, the non-carbonized, but both of them look good. I have my qualms just in looking at these in the packaging. I wish they had different face sculpts. Rick's is a little bit off. The back of the card looks nice. It kind of goes hand in hand. I like that they're using elements of the Rick and Morty show here and there, and I particularly love that it's just the portal. I think that makes it look awesome, and if you're looking for these at Walmart, they're in like a Rick and Morty little standee. It sits on top of a shelf. There's several figures inlaid into that. So just be on the lookout. They're in the entertainment section of Walmart's, and you can't miss that giant Walmart sticker. But let's go ahead, let's pop these things open and give a more in-depth look.
Yeah!
And here they are out of the packaging, and for looking at them, going over the articulation, and really just examining these figures, they're okay. They're not too bad. They're exactly what they set out to be. It's Rick and Morty in their spacesuits. The carbonized look, the more metallic look, does provide that cool sheen to a spacesuit. You do have to worry about the paint a little bit in the joints, especially in the elbows. If you can go through a couple of them on the shelves like I did, you'll notice, like especially in the faces and everything else, the paint is not the best. Especially look at the eyeballs and look at the joints where some of them have already started to be chewed up, and that's a bummer. I'm a big fan of Rick and Morty. I have collected the other Rick and Morty figures, so these were naturally, I literally have found nothing on the shelves at my Walmart so far. So this was like, oh, it's a breath of fresh air. It's something different, something I haven't collected in a while, because they really go long spans of time before they've put out new Rick and Morty figures. But something to just kind of keep in mind. They're good, they're fun, but watch the paint. In terms of the articulation, you aren't going to find a whole heck of a lot. If you're a big fan of articulation on your action figures, this guy is fairly basic, but he does enough to where you can get a good amount of posability out of him, especially for a Rick and Morty character, let's say. But nothing at the helmet. This is all one piece underneath. You are going to get some decent articulation out of the shoulders. It just kind of gets hindered right there where it starts to rub, unfortunately. So I would just be careful after a while with this fairly reminiscent carbonized sort of deco to this Morty and Rick figures, that it'll start to flake off, and you can kind of see it within the joints itself. So just keep that in mind. If you're going to overly pose this guy, you're probably going to get some chewing up at some point. I even have some, and I've barely pulled this figure out. But you can get some good articulation in the elbows. It's single jointed. Nothing rotates at the elbows. And then you'll get some in the wrists. They just go back and forth. There's no hinge or anything like that. The waist will swivel. You can kick out. He's got some interesting ball joints, as you can see. You can sort of get it in there. He just kind of has these weird slots that go right there. And it's not a problem, but it just kind of makes for a weird aesthetic. Like, you're supposed to be able to kind of push the figure into like more of his crotch, but hey, I don't know. It's a weird design choice. He does have single knees, and again, just some of the chewing up starts to happen within the paint in that. And then he has some boot rotation right there. Again, nothing on the hinge. And it's more or less the same as Rick. It's the same exact articulation. I would say, if anything, if I had to nitpick these figures, The facial expressions, I think the face is better for Morty because he's more of like, okay, I'm terrified. I've got a good... He has something emotive going on. Rick is just kind of mindless again. And I really wish that he would have come, especially since these are more of an exclusive as opposed to these are carbonized Walmart exclusives. The regular ones are not. He could have come with a different head sculpt, something a little more akin to what Rick. Maybe he's burping, maybe he's mad, he's angry, he's PO'd, something like that. The helmets, they're a little bit yellow. I kind of dig that, but at the same time, it's a little distracting. It's all right, and you can see the seam line around the entire dome. You're wondering in terms of the scale, both these figures are in that 5-inch mark. There is a difference between the height between Rick and Morty, thank God. But Rick, with the dome and everything else, kind of falls just short of the 6-inch mark, whereas Morty is spot on to the 5-inch. And of course, you get to see them scaled up with different other brands and companies. Being 100% honest, if you're a big Rick and Morty fan, these aren't bad figures. You get a good laugh. They're exactly what they're supposed to do. The lack of weapons, of all the different weird contraptions and gadgets that Rick could make, you would have thought they could have come with something. I mean, these figures literally come just packaged by themselves. The packaging is cool. The figures are cool. But if you're not a huge Rick and Morty fan, or if you've never collected any of Series 1 or 2, I would say these are going to be for a very niche audience. But I am curious to know what you guys think. Will you be picking these up? Is this something for you? What's your favorite episode of Rick and Morty? Season 4 is pretty good. They're off to a good start with that. So while I don't think they'll be doing any more figures necessarily, hopefully maybe Toy Fair will find out more. But as of right now, I feel like this is it. But comment below, let me know. Let's talk everything Rick and Morty. I'm going to leave you guys with that. As always, drink some great coffee, eat some great food, but most importantly, remember, stay in the car, Morty. I told you to stay in the car. And when you do, let me know what you found. I'll talk to you guys soon. Adios.